Alright, doing a quick voiceover on this session with Bella. When I came into the pen, she was already trying to leave the pen because she knew we were going to have to go into that corner. So I went ahead and I got onto her pretty hard about even going underneath those panels. So that's the correction that you see her get first off. I would not have made this correction on her if we hadn't struggled through the exact same problem on the day before. She has been used with her owner as a driving dog or a push dog, and she's actually really good at that. The owner has no complaints about the way she works at home, but wanted to see if they could get a gather on her. So we're working more on fetching, getting her to go around the cattle, getting her to try to get control of the cattle. And I have found, even in the smaller pen work when we were starting out, she's very reluctant to try anything new. So when you pressure her to try something different, her solution is to go sit on the sidelines and wait on an opportunity for her to come in and push the cattle and work in the way that she's used to. So I did get on to her a little bit for that at first. Like I said, we did struggle with that in the session before this one. And then you can see she goes to work right after that. So it wasn't like that correction shut her down or discouraged her. I'm just telling her, I don't like that thing that you're trying to do. That's not an option here. So you've got to come to work with us. So starting off on the far side of the arena, because the further away from that gate that she wants to go under, the better. Just going to start by letting her bring the cattle to me and balance off, which means going around. When she sees me, she needs to go around to the other side and keep the cattle coming with me. Sorry for the background noise. So anytime she comes up too close to me, such as to be in a driving position, I just step towards her and push her back on the other side of the cattle. She's very, very comfortable working out in the open. She doesn't have as much comfort in her skills as she gets along the fence or if cattle break away. So her covering is usually a little bit close, so we are working on that. Again, it's a little bit of a give and take, because if I push on her too much and ask her to be too correct, she gets discouraged. So let her be a little bit tight if the situation is going to work out, and then push on her as she's more confident. And that was actually a really nice cover right there. She gave them plenty of room on the back side, turned them in towards me. And now we're fetching again. She comes up a little too close to the head, so I put her back on the back. She's got to go between the fence and the cattle. And she's a little bit tight, and then she bites, which pushes the cattle past me. So I step in and I push her around and make her go. Get the cattle back and gather them back to me. Same thing, so we're just fetching here. And she can go side to side and manage that, and I just use my body pressure to put her back where she needs to be if she comes up too far to one side or if she pushes too hard. So again, if she pushes and past me, I step in, I send her around, make her gather the cattle back up. And here she's a little bit tight, but she kicks out at the very last second. She's able to get control of the cattle, so I give her lots of praise. She's a little bit tight and pushy, but I'm going to have to let her do it. I do step in, try to push her out just a tad. So right there you can see me step through the cattle and push her out. And then here she's just a little bit too tight and she loses one. And she's staying on it though, even though she went to the heels. So I just try to encourage her to keep going. Get it. And then when she loses that confidence, I'm going to step in. I'm going to try to send her back to the one that she split off. And that's where she decides that's too much pressure for her. So she goes to the sidelines and sits down. So what I do is I take her with me. And I'm not going to get onto her for the extra pushing. She does try to leave the pen right here, but she's in good spirits. So I call her back and she comes. What you can't see is the cattle are in this back left corner, and that's where she really struggled the day before. So as long as she's willing to come back to me and I can try to help her work through it, then I'm going to keep working with her and keep encouraging her. And she went all the way around that time. She left the pen again, but she called right back in, and she's able to send around. So she's got a lot more confidence on this today, which is fantastic. We do it 3 or 4 times, sending her into that corner, calling her, correcting her for leaving, and calling her back in, giving her a correction for what I don't want, and then redirecting her to what I do want. I do not get onto her for pushing on them. I don't get onto her for making a mess here. I just want her to re-engage in the activity, re-engage with the cattle, and continue to work with me. So just doing this multiple times, multiple different fields, different stock, making her go back to work whenever she thinks she's having a hard time, and supporting her is what's going to hopefully get her through the issues that I was seeing. This is a really good session for her. So even though she did leave the pen a couple of times, and right here she gets discouraged because I pushed on her and she felt like that was too much. So when I try to put some control on her, she says, I don't like that. I'm going to go ahead and go over here and wait until there's an opportunity for me to get in here and just push cattle. So again, we can't let our dogs dictate what they think they should be doing. She's smart. She has some skills. She wants to work. So she needs to be able to take direction from us. And so that's what we're working through.